Hi, my name is Alan Christian. I happen to operate this little fantasy world called the House of Balls. Today we're going to talk about these three pieces which I call the piano family. These are a series of pieces that I had talked to Rebecca Hofberger at the American Visionary Art Museum about. They were kind of based on some ideas on string theory and how life is but a kind of resonance of energy, and how kind of pianos exemplify that. Almost a year ago today, I had my hip replaced, and during the course of my recovery, the man was the first piece I started to do. He was really initiated by a mannequin I'd had and wanted to cover him. And this was kind of pre-conversation with Rebecca at AVAM. If you look at him closely, you'll see that none of the pieces are modified. What I was just trying to do is play with how to put them together. My original thought was to actually, beginning in the torso, I had pegged and pieced every piece together with the idea of creating two separate halves, and then being able to pull them off and join them together so that you wouldn't see the mannequin underneath. But it was so tight that there was no necessity to do that, and it was so time-consuming that I just opted to kind of begin to piece one on top of the other. Again, I did not modify any of the elements, but just tried to see how they would go together like a puzzle goes together. When I began the second piece, she was much more about trying to begin to have everything as tight as I could get it. And in so doing, I would have to sand the back edge down and of each piece to kind of close that gap that was between each piece, or each series of pieces. And this one, I'm quite proud of, actually, of all the backs, but hers especially. There's obviously something very sensuous about, even as a mannequin. She was very sensual, but I tried to enhance that by how I placed the dampers and the hammers and all the other piano pieces. This is the only figure of the three that doesn't have everything made out of piano parts, and that's her eyes, which are two crystals from a chandelier. And it was because I really wanted to retain the eyes of the mannequin that were so beautiful, and the lips on this one, that I opted to kind of go with this faceted element that I've got for her. The child, which I call Bucky, was last, and that's because he has these ivory buck teeth, and he became really the tightest fitting piece. Everything is just custom fit. You look down through the torso, and everything is just. I would modify it so that everything fit perfectly. And I think as a trio, he works in his rawness. She works in her kind of tight sensuality, and the child is kind of. I don't want to see genderless. Some people see it as a boy, some people I see it as a boy. But it also has very feminine qualities. So it's this kind of transgender figure that is tied together. The relationship between these two, I think, is the strongest, whereas the male figure is very standoffish, like many of us males are. I think it really, in my mind, plays with that whole idea of resonance. And, for me, this vibration of what an idea, what energy, what creation is about. Thank you.